Listen, you fucking scumbag, you're not a good person. Huh? But neither am I, to be honest. Neither is anyone. What even is that? What even is a good person? Oh, yeah. Look at me being all fucking woo-woo. Look, Chief, there's a lot of power in your negativity, in your darkness, and running from it is only going to make it stronger. I used to do that, you know. I used to be so scared of my anger and my ability to do wrong that I would literally siphon it from myself and put it into this personality in the back of my mind. And because of how creative my brain worked, it got so strong that I was almost developing this like split personality thing. That's a story for another day. But only when I accepted it and realized it was a part of me, and that my tendency to do good is equal to my tendency to do bad. It's all about my choices in the moment. Once I accepted that, I could use it. Some of the best work I've done has been when I've been pissed off, wanting to prove something with my pride. And internally, those are negative and you could even say evil wants to do something, but the result was something good. Because that's the thing, if you keep it inside, no one's going to know why you did something, and it doesn't really matter. All energy can be used, and actually dark energy, this sounds very woo-woo, but I mean your dark energy, your negative energy can be the strongest. When I've been most consistent at the gym is when I've had something to prove. Same at work. But you're not a good person, because no one just is. In the moment, you choose to, maybe you choose regularly to be a good person, and that's good. People may perceive you as a good person, and that's good, but every single time it resets, you have a choice. Good and bad. Just because you've chosen well does not mean you can't choose poorly. You are not a bad person either. You're somewhere in the middle. Because what you choose depends on what you feel is right, or maybe not. Sometimes we're impulsive. It's actually sometimes the best people, the people that are good for the longest, that can do the worst things. Because like I said, they try and siphon themselves. They try and rise above this negativity and bury it, but it just grows. Negativity is patient, bro. Especially if you're like me. I have this thing I like to call a walked over syndrome. It's where you like to let things go because you want to be the better person, but every time you do, you don't realize your subconscious is just making a note of every time you've been walked on, building this narrative that people think you're weak for being kind, which isn't true. And negativity waits until it builds and builds and builds and builds, until one day one unsuspecting person can say something pretty harmless. And to them, it was just a joke, or maybe they didn't think about how they spoke to you. But to you, that was the last straw in a long line of being disrespected, and you fucking explode on this person that doesn't really deserve it. And guess what, Chief? All that anger, all that built up rage doesn't justify what you did to that person. Because that was just a choice in a moment, and you were a bad person in that moment. All those other times when you let things go and you were a good person, doesn't matter anymore, because in the present you chose to do that. Negativity, it's unavoidable. You're going to snap at people. You're going to make enemies. There's a way we can use this, understanding that we have it within us. Instead of trying to bury it, use it. Sometimes you have to confront people. You can use it. You can learn to use the right amount instead of letting it consume you, because it will consume you if you try and bury it. If you want to be a good person, you have to choose it constantly in the moment. It renews. It's a fresh day. People might perceive you as a good person, but you know what's funny? People's opinions can change like that. You could fuck up all your relationships in a day if you tried hard enough. Do you know what I mean? So next time you feel like you've been walked over or you have the right to be shit, remember, do you want to be a good person today? And what will you gain from not? I try to take all that negative energy and put it within me. And either let it expel naturally or I'll use it in the gym or in something useful, because you can use it and it's a very powerful energy. But you do not want to put that on other people unless they really deserve it. Sometimes there are times where you have to stand up for yourself, yeah, and that can become useful. But choosing to be a good person is never a bad thing. But just remember, you have to keep choosing it. Just because you did something great, maybe you gave to a homeless person, maybe you really helped someone with their mental health. Just because you did something in the past doesn't mean shit to who you are now. Like I said, the nicest people can do the worst things because we're not good people. But it's the fact that we choose to be. That's what counts. It's not what you are, it's what you're trying to be. So try to be good. And if you're bad every now and then, don't make that your personality. Because you're not a bad person either. You just occasionally do bad things. Say less. Do more. See you tomorrow.